As Chief Faculty Marshal, I now declare this convocation officially open. The ceremony will be officiated by W. Taylor Reevely IV, the 26th President of Longwood University. Please remain standing for the national anthem, led by the Longwood Camerata and Chamber Singers, the posting of the colors by the ROTC Color Guard, and a reflection by Trinity Hazelgrove, Senior Class Vice President.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may post the colors.
President Reevely, permission to post the colors.
You may post the colors.
Class of 2026, we're almost there. Today we mark the start of our senior year. We are excited, especially to see our caps. We are proud of the hard work we have accomplished. And let's be honest, we are probably a little bit nervous as our future beyond Longwood comes closer and closer. It's a good time to reflect on what has brought us to this moment. 4 years ago, we said goodbye to our families and friends and arrived on this campus. Most of us with at least some degree of anxiety, but with a lot of hope. More than anything, we knew that we wanted to make an impactful first impression. Excelling in classes, getting to know the new faces who might turn into lifelong friends, and joining organizations to be a part of something bigger. Everything was new. Jumping in the fountain, Oktoberfest, Kai walks, crown hopping, late night breakfast, oozeball, and the list goes on and on. First impressions and first experiences feel like everything when you are a freshman. And now, at the start of our senior year, we have the opportunity to make a different kind of impression, a lasting impression. An impression that is shaped by who we have become since those early, crazy days on campus. So that is my challenge to you all. Let's focus on how we can engage with our professors in meaningful ways and how we can set an example for others to approach academics. Let's build stronger student organizations by leading and supporting the groups who have shaped us. Let's be good stewards of our Longwood traditions by showing up and teaching those freshmen what Color Wars is all about. Let's be the people we looked up to when we arrived here all those years ago. My last thought to leave you with today: first impressions are about being seen and heard. Last impressions are about making a difference. Congratulations, class of 2026, and let's make this a great senior year. Thank you.
And please be seated. Thank you, Camerata and Chamber Singers. Thank you, Trinity. And class of 2026, you look resplendent. You look resplendent. Your days here at the alma mater really have been so consequential and momentous, and the world plainly and poignantly needs these citizen leaders you have become in this honestly turbulent time, turning with passionate intensity from 9/11 through our troubled and shocked present moment as a nation. We need citizen leaders with the spirit to say, "Come and let us reason together." Now, we gather today to begin the year officially and celebrate Convocation, one of those occasions over the course of the year where we pause, inject a dose of formality into our day-to-day routine, and remind ourselves that the work we do here is special, noble, worthy of sanctification. Convocation is a stately Latin word that means calling us all together. And we will have some fun as we do all this. Today, we honor two groups in particular. First, our seniors, who will officially assume that title when the capping ceremony is complete, the great class of 2026. And second, we honor those arrayed before you who have guided our new seniors from their arrival at Longwood to this point, our remarkable faculty, whose commitment to their students is, I believe, our institution's most valuable resource. Longwood's faculty are the beating heart of the university. I am pleased that today we will honor some of our brightest lights. And then as we progress this afternoon, soon we will have the honor of hearing from a great fellow Lancer, Canon Townsend, 15, Executive Director of the Moden Museum, whom I will introduce and exalt at the proper moment as our convocation speaker. And today I am, as always, also delighted to welcome members of our Board of Visitors, our governing board, seated behind me. This extremely hard-working group includes Longwood alumni, as well as notable figures in the life of the Commonwealth who started with no prior connection, but who, without fail, come to love our ancient and great university. Our Rector, Ron White, and executive committee members also join us today: Kathleen Early, David Rose, Jeff Nottingham, our Vice Rector. And I would also like to call out the Hanson family up there, Eric and Beth, Dad and Mom, celebrating senior Allie. Eric led the alma mater as rector through the pandemic, serving on the Board of Visitors for nearly a decade. Congratulations, you all. Thank you. And now, in our 187th year, to begin our ceremonial progression today, which will lead us, in due course, to capping pandemonium. I call my great friend Ron White to the podium for a word of welcome and reflection. Our rector and a preeminent leader in the Commonwealth, Mr. Rector.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, class of 2026. What a magnificent day to be here at Longwood. This is my 8th convocation as a member of the Board of Visitors. There are few people who are lucky enough to witness that many convocations from this vantage point. But because I've been a part of many convocations, I have come to appreciate how very special this moment is. Each one unique, but every one deeply meaningful. And I just want to take a moment to reflect on that briefly. You see, it is true that each year the caps tend to reach greater heights. Each year seemingly more elaborate and in many cases seemingly and most assuredly defying both the law of physics and the principles of engineering. But it is also true. It is also true that the essence of this tradition is the very thing that makes this university special. At the heart of it is this. You see, each of you pondered as to who would be that special person who would be your capper. To create something meaningful, to share in this experience with that person that you have chosen to be by your side. You chose them because of what they mean to you, occupying that intimately special place in your heart, in your life. And this tradition that ripples from past to this moment. And the class of 2026 now takes its place in the history of this great institution, ensuring that future classes will continue the ripples of this glorious tradition well into the future of our dearest Longwood. So now I want you to think for a moment, just briefly. Now, be it a few years from now or a few decades from now, that moment, your senior year, will be well in your rearview mirror as life and its momentum takes you forward as it always does. You see, there'll be a good chance that you'll be at that moment going through mementos and keepsakes, and that moment will come where you'll come across your cap. The very cap that you will be wearing at this special moment, sitting up on a shelf in a box or tucked away somewhere safe. And you will think, at that moment, you will think about the person who made it for you. That moment that you both shared. You see, this is what community is about. This is what friendship is about. This is what Longwood is about. Now, some of you know this and some of you do not, but I am a native New Yorker, born in Manhattan, in the shadows of the Twin Towers. So September 11th will always touch my heart and stir my soul as with many Americans. You see, we must always remember and honor the fallen. And it's at times like this that I reflect upon the story of the man in the red bandana. You see, on September 11th, there was a young man, Wells Remy Crowther, who saved numerous people from the upper floors of the World Trade Center South Tower. The man in the red bandana. It was accounted that he saved as many as 18 lives, but going in for the very last time, lost his own. You are all citizen leaders. You see, and as citizen leaders in your own unique way, you too will run towards danger. You will do so to impact the lives of many for the greater good of civilization. Continue to be the citizen leaders that you have become. And I know that you will do so until your very last breath. You see, the faculty that are here before you, they are part of the community that has prepared you for that moment, that citizen leader moment. And I have no doubt that you will be ready. So congratulations. Congratulations to this uniquely glorious and extraordinary class of 2026. And I thank you, as always, for allowing me the distinct honor and privilege just to be a little part of your glorious journey, a journey that will continue well into the future. And I know that you are destined for great things. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rector. And it is now my enormous privilege to introduce our convocation speaker, Kanan Townsend, Executive Director of the Moton Museum, Farmville's iconic National Historic Landmark. 74 years ago, 16-year-old Barbara Johns led her classmates in a historic walkout to protest conditions at the segregated R.R. Moton High School. Among the group who followed her out the door were Mildred and Arlene Townsend, Kanan's great aunts. They joined Kanan's great-grandfather, John Townsend, as plaintiffs in the lawsuit that followed what eventually became Brown v. Board of Education, the seminal 1954 Supreme Court decision. In the tumultuous years that followed, in which public schools in Prince Edward County were closed rather than integrated, Kanan's father, aunts, and uncles, and several cousins were locked out of school. And now, he is the next generation of Townsend to carry the torch for education in America. And his work has, without question, been consequential. First, as education director at Moton, and as member of the Prince Edward County School Board, as a member of the Virginia Commission on African American History Education in the Commonwealth, and now as Moton's executive director. Kanan has been responsible for innovative programming at the museum to preserve and catalog its rich history, ensuring that the story of Barbara Johns, the Moton strikers, and the lockout generation is taught in schools across the Commonwealth and far beyond. And this winter, Kanan will be front and center at another consequential moment in history. The U.S. Capitol houses a collection of statues called Statuary Hall. Each state is allotted 2 statues for the hall, which represent centrally important figures in that state's history. And in just a few short months, the Commonwealth of Virginia will unveil a statue of Barbara Johns to stand alongside George Washington as Virginia's two representatives in the nation's capital. That, indeed, my friends, will be a proud and profound moment worthy of celebration and reflection, and it would not be possible but for the tireless advocacy of Kanan Townsend, a proud double Lancer, 15, and then a master's degree in 20, and my great friend. Kanan, the podium is yours.
Good afternoon to the class of 2026. Y'all look amazing. Give yourselves a hand. To President Reevely, to the Longwood University Board of Visitors, and to everyone who helped make today possible, I just wanted to thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for having me be a part of your special day. You see, your graduation in less than 1 year's time aligns with some pretty important historical events and anniversaries. The country, through the Declaration of Independence, reaches 250 years old. That's a semi-quincentennial, if you were wondering. 75 years since Barbara Johns and the Moton Student Walkout. And of course, the 15th anniversary of the debut of our beloved mascot, Elwood, or the GOAT, as I call him. On a more serious note, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the significance of today's date, the 24th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks and the loss of Longwood's own Shane Adcock. This year is also the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina and its devastation in New Orleans. Now, you see, people don't tell you when you're living through history in real time. It kind of just happens. Every moment that passes has significance, but certain moments have this ability to crystallize in your mind. To the class of 2026, I say 9/11 and Katrina, and you all are probably like, I was not born yet, or I was 1 or 2 years old. But look towards your faculty member, and maybe parents and family who came with you, and I guarantee almost all of them can probably remember exactly where they were when those events were happening. I'm here to tell you today that those even little moments can also have equally significant ripples in our history. Now, as I began to prepare my remarks, I did what I often would do working at Moton, and sometimes for fun. I look back in the archives, and I know what you're thinking, and the answer is yes, I am a riot at parties. But looking through the archives, trying to get some inspiration, direction on where to start this, I stumbled upon a friendly and familiar face, Cookie Scott, Longwood University's first African-American graduate in 1972. And reviewing her remarks as a ceremony I was not there for, we immediately had something in common. Neither of us attended the ceremonies in which we were speaking at, for very different reasons, but this seemed like a meaningful way for me to begin here this afternoon. I missed my convocation in 2014 because I was doing something that I was often doing in Prince Edward when I was a student, working in the community. The Prince Edward County Middle School soccer team needed a coach, and they begged and they begged. But I was really busy, and I didn't think I could do it. Seniors, I know y'all can't relate about being busy. But eventually, I agreed to co-coach with a fraternity brother, and we hodgepodged our schedules together, kind of like that hodgepodge holding together those caps. And eventually, we figured out how to make it work. I didn't want to cancel practice for the kids because we had some games coming up, and it didn't seem fair to them. So I told them, if all the players can get picked up about 30 minutes early, we can still hold practice, and all of them agreed. Convocation day arrives, and I'm coaching, everything is going great, practice is over. Every kid gets picked up on time except for one. The same kid who always got picked up late. The same kid who never had any family at home or away games. A social kid, but one who rarely talked about what home life was like. Eventually his ride came, and he said, "See you later, coach." and I told him I would see him tomorrow. Now, I was sad to miss Convocation, but that meant a lot to him. The team meant a lot to him, so I wasn't going to make a big deal out of it. Providing that small bit of stability for him at the time was far more important than me celebrating my own accomplishments. Fast forward a few years. I'm on campus here teaching. I walk out of Wheeler and I hear a, "Hey, coach." And I look over and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's you." Turns out he found his way into a foster family who treated him extraordinarily well, and they paved a pathway forward for him to end up right here at Longwood University. Now, I don't know if my presence in his life had any impact on him attending Longwood University whatsoever, but I do know I've never regretted missing my own convocation. And today I realize part of that is because this was meant to be my first convocation to celebrate with you, the class of 2026. This is a double first for me because, as President Reevely said, I graduated in 2020. Some of y'all might remember that was a weird year. So instead of getting my own opportunity to wear this hood, instead I watched my name scroll on the screen and I wore it with a nice little polo on and we ate some mac and cheese. It was fun. But this is my first time wearing my academic hood in full academic regalia, so it is a double first for me. So I'm double honored to be here with you all this afternoon. Now, being that I was born in the 1900s, as my students often remind me of, some of which are being capped here today, I've picked up some wisdom over the years because I've had some phenomenal teachers, many of which are sitting in the rows in front of you all. Now, just hold with me. I promise I'm not going to keep you forever. I'll be brief. When you look back on this moment and you think about the speaker, you're going to remember me for one of two reasons. One, because I was amazing and uplifting. Or more likely, number two, I talk too long. And I want to be the former and not the latter. As a millennial, I've had the privilege of working alongside and with Gen Z, and I've been impressed. Now, brief caveat, some of the TikTok trends kind of disturbing. As a school board member, the idea of devious licks leaves me very, very concerned. And I also remember the Tide Pods too. Remember, the internet is forever. But I have been extremely impressed and inspired by your creativity, your resiliency, and your drive. It makes me glad every day I work in the field of education to be able to work with phenomenal students like yourselves. And I say with wholeheartedness, the future is in good hands. But as a warning, Gen Alpha is a-coming. Take it from somebody who's raising 3 of them right now. They're very quick with a skibbity this, skibbity that. And lately, they're even quicker with the K-pop demon hunters. And if y'all don't know what that is, come to my house any night and my kids will give you a lesson. And one day, you will be working out in your own fields, in your own industries, and you've been working for 10 years, and a young upstart Gen Alpha is gonna come up to you fresh out of undergrad, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, so I've been listening to some classical rap music from back in the day. And, you know, since you were there, would you mind telling me what that Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef was all about?" And you're gonna be like, "Oh my God, he was right." It'll happen, believe me. But my jokes aside, building community amongst multiple generations is and will continue to be a crucial skill moving forward. And I believe if you all invest in the next generation the way that we all have invested in you all, they will make you as proud of them as you make me proud of you all. You all forced me to stay on top of my game because I fear that many of you all might be coming for my job. The biggest piece of wisdom, and in closing, that I offer is to be authentic and always act in congruency with your values. As someone who studies history for a living, I understand the importance of learning from past events and figures. But I think it'd be disingenuous for me to tell you, go be the next king, go be the next Barbara, go be the next Abraham Lincoln, without also saying names that you might not know, like go be the next N.P. Miller, or the next Martha Forrester, or the next J. Samuel Williams. Respectfully, with utmost respect, they had their time and they rose to their occasion. So today, I'm not telling you to be like any of those people. Inherit their wisdom, but abandon imitation. The problems of the day need lancers of today and tomorrow. So when you leave this place, Don't forget where you come from. The world, frankly, needs more of what Longwood has to offer. Be the crown that somebody's drawn to lift their fortunes, and in equal stead, be that rotunda they dare not trample upon. Most importantly, be you. Our problems of today won't be solved by doing what's always been done. There's this African proverb I'd like to share with you all. In times of crisis, the wise build bridges while the foolish build barriers. So go out and build those bridges. It's not easy because it's not supposed to be. And especially build those bridges with people who don't look and think like you. And I know it's hard, but if you do this, you will enable yourself to be the best version of yourself and them the best version of themselves. I'll end with Barbara Johns' famous quote. There wasn't any fear. I just thought, this is your moment, seize it. They seized their moment. Now it's time for you to go out and seize yours. Thank you.
That was awesome. That was awesome. We have now, with a flourish, concluded Act 1 of the afternoon. Act 2 will be the awarding of some honors to our faculty. Act 3 will be the capping. It's coming. 10 minutes. And then Act 4 will be the pandemonium. So let's bestow some faculty awards. We have 8 awards to bestow to our assembled faculty. But first, I would like to rewind to commencement in May and just recognize some of the awards, 2 of the awards that we bestowed to faculty in May. In May, we first bestowed the Student Faculty Recognition Award, selected by a student committee, which honors a member of the faculty for professional excellence and devoted service to students. And the Student Faculty Recognition Award last spring was Dr. Rhonda Scarrow, Associate Professor of Theater Education. Congratulations again, Rhonda. And on the graduate side, different award bestowed last spring, the Graduate Faculty Teaching and Mentoring Award, which recognizes distinction and initiative in graduate teaching and mentoring above and beyond the regular requirements. The Graduate Faculty Teaching and Mentoring Award recipient was Dr. Laura Poe, Assistant Professor of Information Systems and Cybersecurity. And in late-breaking news, I think it was even early September, but late August, a national award was announced, which I would like to recognize now as well. Dr. Tim Coffey, who has been our wonderful faculty athletic representative, and served with great distinction on any number of NCAA national bodies. We received word that Dr. Coffey is the National Faculty Athletic Representative of the Year, chosen by the NCAA. Thank you, Tim. All right, now we get to today's awards. And these are a live occasion The recipients do not know that they are the recipients. So please come forward when your name is called, and the provost and I will bestow medallions upon you. And because these are live awards, we are not always positive if the recipients are present. It adds verve and panache to the proceedings. We have 8, and here we go. Madam Provost, will you come forward? So our first award, I'm pleased to present the Innovation in Teaching Award. The Innovation in Teaching Award is intended for a faculty member or librarian who must have a minimum of 2 years of teaching here, demonstrating outstanding innovation in teaching. Teaching innovation may be reflected in areas such as student engagement, support for students from underrepresented backgrounds, application of universal and accessible design, student research, academic literacy, professional preparation, or significant creative curriculum contributions. And the winner for this year's Innovation in Teaching Award is an Associate Professor of Education in the Department of Education and Counseling, Evan Long. Award number 2, the Maria Bristow Stark Faculty Excellence Award. This award is made possible by an endowment created by the late Mr. Thomas J. Stark III. The award honors his mother, who was an honor graduate of the class of 1914 and later president of the Alumni Association. The award recognizes excellence in scholarship, teaching, and other professional activities. The recipient of the Maria Bristow Stark Faculty Excellence Award is a professor of sociology in the Department of Sociology, Anthropology, and Criminal Justice, Joellen Peterson. Our third award, the Maud Glenn Rayford Award, awarded to a tenured faculty member. The award is intended for a faculty member who demonstrates excellence in teaching. The Rayford Award was established in 1990 by philanthropist J.B. Fuqua of Atlanta, Prince Edward County native, in honor of his third grade teacher, a Longwood alumna. The winner of this year's Maud Glenn Rayford Award is an Associate Professor of Kinesiology in the Department of Health, Recreation, and Kinesiology, and I believe is not present, but we might find out in a second. Laura Jimenez, congratulations. I do what the notes tell me. Award number 4, the Maud Glenn Rayford Assistant Professor Teaching Award. The Rayford Assistant Professor Award is intended to recognize excellence in teaching for a faculty member at the assistant professor rank with a minimum of 2 years of full-time teaching at the university. The recipient, who I believe is also not present, of this year's Maud Glenn Rayford Assistant Professor Teaching Award is an assistant professor of Spanish in the Department of English and Modern Languages, Megan DeBartolomeo. Award 5 has a sentimental note. The Provost Scholarship Award is intended for a faculty member who demonstrates excellence in scholarship. The demonstration of excellence may include, but is not limited to, scholarly publications or accomplishments, presentation of new disciplinary or pedagogical knowledge, public performances or shows, successful development of grants, serving as an editor or reviewer for professional journals. And this month, the Faculty Senate chose to change the name of the Provost Scholarship Award to honor a remarkable professor of English whose lifetime of scholarship on Shakespeare has set the standard for all Longwood faculty and students in its scope and import. The university community is deeply saddened this August when Dr. Susan H. May, Professor Emerita of English, who began teaching at Longwood in 1968, passed away at the age of 90. She mentored countless students and faculty members in their own scholarly pursuits over the decades at the alma mater, and the Faculty Senate voted overwhelmingly with the blessing of her beloved husband, Bob May, longtime professor. To honor that legacy with this award. Bob is with us today. This year's winner is an associate professor of counselor education in the Department of Education and Counseling, Kat McCleskey. Our sixth award also carries the name of one of Longwood's great lights. The William David Stewart Leadership and Service Award is intended for a faculty member who demonstrates excellence in service activities and who serves as a citizen leader role model for Longwood students. This award honors Communication Studies professor Dr. Bill Stewart, who passed away suddenly on September 9th, 2012. The winner of this year's William David Stewart Leadership and Service Award is a professor of sociology in the Department of Sociology, Anthropology, and Criminal Justice, Lee Bidwell. Award 7, the penultimate of the 8. The Assistant Professor Award of Excellence recognizes a faculty member who holds the rank of Assistant Professor and must have a minimum of 2 years of full-time teaching at the university. The faculty member must have demonstrated excellence in teaching and scholarship and participation in university activities. The winner for this year's Assistant Professor Faculty Award of Excellence is newly promoted and tenured Associate Professor of Counselor Education in the Department of Education and Counseling, Jen Gerlach. All right, the culminating award, the culminating faculty award. The Murray and Cora Simpson Distinguished Professorship Award was established in 2015 through a generous gift from Murray S. Simpson Jr. and Cora S. Simpson to recognize and support faculty who have demonstrated a sustained commitment to pursuing outstanding scholarship, resulting in publications, presentations, or creative work in the visual or performing arts. The professorship is awarded annually at convocation by the president in consultation with the provost to a tenured faculty member selected from nominations by the academic deans. The recipient is the Simpson Distinguished Professor for the current academic year. The professorship carries a summer research stipend and a grant to support future scholarship in addition to a one-course release. The research grant may be expended over a period of time chosen by the faculty member. The winner of this year's Simpson Award has been a celebrated teacher and scholar since joining Longwood's faculty in 2008, teaching courses in world history, the history of China, the history of Japan, and a range of different courses in African history. His main research area is East Central Africa, including Rwanda, Uganda, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. An active reviewer, editor, and writer, his articles have appeared in the Journal of Modern African Studies, Peace Review, Church History, Studies in Christianity and Culture, to name just a few. His book, Revival and Reconciliation, The Anglican Church and the Politics of Rwanda, published by the University of Wisconsin Press in 2022, was based on extensive research and archives and 3 years of field work in Rwanda. As one reviewer in Foreign Affairs noted, the work is a welcome contribution to the academic literature on Rwanda's 1994 genocide, its history, and its aftermath. His current book project will be the first comprehensive scholarly treatment of the rinderpest virus's effect on the peoples of Eastern and Southern Africa. The winner of the Murray and Cora Simpson Distinguished Professorship is a professor of history in the Department of History, Political Science, and Philosophy, Phil Cantrell. All right, let's hear another roar of applause for all our award winners. And thus concludeth Act 2. Do we know what that means? It means the hot glue is about to get its apotheosis. All right. Are we ready out there? I need a little bit more enthusiasm. Are we ready? That's good. That's good. That's good. All right, some ceremonial steps here. Senior Class President, Grace Ashbrook, please come forward. With your capper, Madison Ensley, and Madam Provost. Get into ceremonial position, cap in hand. All right. I'm going to give some instructions, but then there are magic words that follow the instructions. So instruction and then magic words. Cappers, all rise. Now wait for the magic words. Wait for the magic words. We have our ceremonial capping ready here on stage, and with these magic words, cappers, you can do your thing. By the power vested in me by virtue of my office, I hereby declare that the members of the great class of 2026 are this day, September 11th, 2025, now officially recognized as seniors and may be capped accordingly. It's definitely appropriate for all assembled to make a lot of noise if you want. All right, our senior class president will now hold forth. Madam President.
The moment people hear you're going to give a speech, everyone suddenly becomes an expert. They tell you what to say, what not to say, or share some half-remembered quote they once saw on social media. Most of the advice, though, is about how to survive public speaking, like breathing exercises or finding friendly faces in the crowd. But don't worry, I'm not imagining anyone here in their underwear. But the surprising part is how I feel comfortable up here. And sure, Comm 101 helped, but the real reason is the sense of belonging Longwood has given us. Everyone in this room took a different path to get here, but no matter how we got here, Convocation means the same thing for all of us. It is the beginning of the end of our undergraduate experience. Campus has changed a lot during our time here. We've seen the opening of the Joan Perry Brock Arena, the D Hall renovation, and perhaps most importantly, the new icy machine at the pod. But But even as Longwood evolves, its heart remains the same. It is the people, the students and staff, that give this place its purpose. We have all faced different challenges, built different connections, and found our own places on campus. But through it all, our class has come together to leave a real, lasting mark on this university. It is in that same spirit that I hope we take on this final year, together. This year, we will experience a lot of our last, but we will do it together. Our last Color Wars, Oktoberfest, and Spring Weekend, our last late night breakfast, last Kai burning, and yes, the last time Miss Betty will swipe us into D Hall. We will stare at the spinning circle on our computer screens at 7 a.m. while registering for classes one last time, only for it to crash and the site tells us to try again. Eventually, we will reset our LancerNet password for the last time, though I won't miss that part either. In all seriousness, I encourage each of us to make the most of our final year. While we should cherish the memories we have created at Longwood, let us not get too caught up in looking back, at least not yet. The countdown to graduation has begun, and it is on us to make every single day matter. Let us savor this moment and all that lies ahead, because the class of 2026 is not finished with Longwood quite yet. Thank you, and here's to the year ahead.
That was wonderful, and I think we need the great class of 26 in your resplendent caps to rise up as a body so we can give you a thunderous round of applause and cheer. And now if we can all rise for the alma mater. Thank you, junior marshals. Thank you, faculty marshals. Thank you, singers and symphony. Please join in the singing of the alma mater and then remain standing as the platform party processes and the retiring of the colors. You may retire the colors. Dr. Coles, please retrieve the mace. The academic year is officially underway.
Thank